What is going on, guys? Just wanted to go through this Kiwi yen trade I took um, last week and into this week. Just wanted to explain kind of why I took the trade, how I take my trades. It's pretty simple. I mean, I try and keep it as simple as possible. So let's get into it. So first thing, I always like to check the seasonal prime long-term bias. So um, this is obviously today's seasonal prime, but this was very similar to last week. It had a very similar curve, bullish, long-term bullish. So essentially what I do is I say, okay, what's the potential? How far can we potentially go? And it looks like we can potentially go, up to almost 4% from yesterday's close. You have to remember, seasonal prime, all the data is based on the previous day's close. So on the previous day, this thing could potentially go, 3.8%. It's almost up to 80. It's potentially 300 pips. So, right, there's 300 pips to be taken, potentially. Next thing I look at, and going back to this has to coincide with my key levels, which we'll look at on the trading view. Next thing I look at is the DMX order stream. This is essentially telling you where retail traders are. My threshold for bias for heavy retail is going to be 75%. If I'm looking to take a trade, retail needs to be 75% at least one way. That's what I'm comfortable with. Depending on your strategy, how you trade, it could be different. But for me and what I've back tested, 75% seems to get the job done. The probability is still good. Obviously, anything more is just a better confirmation. So after that, I'll go to the chart. I'll start mapping out my key levels. So essentially, I'll start where price is. Last week, price started to open up here. So I ended up putting a little zone here. Saw some candle bodies. Obviously, when price is down below this area, we're moving down. There's rejection. Wicks are also a key level for me, also an area of interest. So I marked that. These levels up here are looking left. This is obvious. We saw rejection here back in March of 19. And then furthermore, the next zone would theoretically be here where we were at in December of 18. Essentially, these are clean, big clean candles or wicks, clean candles or wicks, clean candles, wicks, wicks. You just look left. It's common sense. Look at where price was moving, big, strong movements, momentum, right? I mark those out. I look on a 4 hour. I do a similar, I do a similar thing if I see something developing, like so beginning of the week, I don't like taking trades on Monday too much. I like to wait until Tuesday or Wednesday. So Monday, price broke through last week's high. We ended up coming through, creating some support here, coming up, rejecting at that daily level we had marked out. We rejected, we came down, started seeing a little bit of a downward channel creating. So put some trend lines down. I noticed price was creating some support here on Wednesday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. This was Wednesday Asian session. So during the Asian session on Wednesday, I thought I'd catch it early. So I took a trade here. I was managing risk, so it wasn't a large position. It was one that I could take a pretty decent drawdown on. So I took a trade here, knowing well that this zone or this zone could get hit. So I went to bed. I woke up. I was in drawdown. I was like, okay, however, I'm fine with that. I was taking position at this key level because price is rejecting. You also got to think, okay, we're moving down. Retail is continuing to sell. They're just adding orders. So you're gonna buy. I ended up buying here because I thought, okay, sellers are gonna have FOMO, optimal time for price to potentially reverse. And it's at the bottom of this downward channel. Probabilities are high. Took the trade, took several trades. I think I took 3 or 4 positions here. And you saw it happen. It just skyrocketed. So for the next 2 days, we were moving kind of slow, but then we just skyrocketed on Friday. Ended up closing way higher, breaking the highs. And again, going into the week, the next week, this week, literally same thing, same setup. Price is going to gravitate towards these key levels. You just got to stay patient and wait. However, I knew we were going to keep going up, or I had a good feeling we are going to keep going up based on the data, seasonal prime. So on Monday, Tuesday, that is, yesterday, towards the end of the day, saw price starting to slow down a bit. Price came up, price came down, started making some resistance or some support. I checked seasonal prime, same thing. 90% retail was selling. So, okay, let's start taking some buys here. Took the buys. I figured this might be the low of the week, which would be great if we're continuing to move up, because remember, our TP is at this daily level here, 100 pips from here, and then 250 pips from our previous entry, which are still in play. So it's just a continuation play. Took the trade at the key level, waited for price action, saw we were rejecting, and just let the trade ride. And today you saw, I mean, we just skyrocketed and we ended up smashing through this daily level. I mean, there's still room to go. There's still a lot of room to go. So based off yesterday's close, there's 3%, almost 4%. So almost 80.2. We can move and groove way up here. See if there's a level. Probably something like this. Be the next one. Right. So pretty much it, guys. Just take proper risk, with my strategy. I don't have to risk as much. I don't have to throw on 1 or 2 lots. I will. I will if I want to, but these are just nice calculated risks. I'm risk free. I don't mind making a couple $100 on each trade. It's nice. I can do stuff throughout my day. I can, just manage my trades as they're running through their zones. And as they hit zones, take your TP. Sell losses are slightly arbitrary on these. It's market structure. Obviously, if we're closing below here in this zone, then we're probably wrong. We probably have to wait. And at that point, we're in a trade up here, so that we're getting pretty steep. So manage as you will. It's a lot of it's just intuition and experience while you're in the trade. But yeah, this is a setup that happens every week on every pair. So appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions.